Hi everybody, how are you all? So welcome you all to the next session on second PUC mathematics. Friends, today we are dealing with the first concept in the chapter of continuity and differentiability, which is nothing but continuity. Okay? This is a very important concept according to your exam point of view because you would be definitely having one question on 4 mark question in part E either in 49B or 50B. Okay, so let us not waste our time anymore. We'll directly get on to the concept. Is it fine? Okay. Now, before we go on to the problems directly, let us have a bit of background and then we'll go on to the problem. Okay. So, the main definition which you have to know is let us see what do you mean by continuous functions. Okay. Or continuity. Okay. If f is a real function or real valued function on the subset of real numbers, that is, we usually know this f is from R to R, isn't it? So if f is a real function, okay, on a set of real numbers and let a be a point in the domain of f, okay, here the domain of f, whatever it is, from there I will take a point a. Is it clear? Then f is said to be continuous at that point. Is it clear? F is said to be continuous at x is equal to a if the condition is limit of f of x at x tends to a should exist and that should be equal to f of a. Is it clear? So a function is said to be continuous at a point if limit of f of x at x tends to a is equal to f of a. Very important definition. Only if you know this very well, you can solve the 4 marker questions easily. Okay, what do you mean by saying this? So in the concept of limits, you have already seen the limit. When I say a limit of a function, we have something called the left hand limit and the right hand limit. If the left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit, only then the limit of that function exists. Okay, so if I say the function is continuous at x is equal to a, then I can either write a limit of f of x at x tends to a is f of a, or depending on the problem, sometimes I write limit of f of x as x tends to minus a. That a minus means the left hand limit of f of x at x tends to a is nothing but the right hand limit of f of x at x tends to a. That is nothing but my f of a. Okay, so this is the basic definition of continuity. Is it fine? Okay. Now let us see continuous, okay, in the domain itself. Now a real function f is said to be continuous if it is continuous at every point in the domain of f. Previously we saw a continuity at a point, but here it is if it is continuous in the entire domain of f, then we call that function as a continuous function. Okay, now look here. For examples, I can take f of x is equal to mod x, that is modulus function, and f of x is equal to 1 by x, that is a reciprocal function. Please be careful for that condition x is not equal to 0. And then every polynomial function is continuous. Okay, you might have proved it in your classes. Every polynomial function will also be continuous. Is it fine? Okay. Next example is every rational function is continuous. Okay, you may think about your sine function, that is f of x is equal to sine x, or f of x is equal to cos x, or f of x is equal to tangent function, that is tan x, or f of x is equal to cos of x square. You can see this in your worked examples. Most of the questions are proved there. And f of x is equal to mod of cos x. The above are few examples of continuous functions. Okay, this is just the background of what the continuity means. Okay, there is one major theorem in continuity. Suppose f and g be two real functions at a real number a. Now I'm considering two real functions f and g and a real number a. Okay, if f and g are continuous, okay, then f plus g is also continuous at x is equal to a. Is it clear? Next, f minus g is also continuous at x is equal to a. F into g is also continuous at x is equal to a, and f divided by g is continuous at x is equal to a, provided my g of a not equal to 0. Okay, because if g of a becomes 0, the denominator will be 0. That gives me infinity, that is indeterminate form. Okay, so that condition, I take g of a not equal to 0. So this is the required basics for me to solve the 4-marker problems. Okay, so we shall take the first problem and see how we can score 4 marks easily in your main examination. Okay, yes. So the first question I have is, find the value of k so that f of x, that is the function kx plus 1 if x less than or equal to 5, and 3x minus 5 where x is greater than 5, at x is equal to 5, it is a continuous function. He has already told you that this is a continuous function at x is equal to a. Now I have to find out the unknown value k. Okay, shall we do it? Now this is how you're going to prove find the solution of this. Now remember, this question has been asked 2 times in your main examination, March 2015 and March 2019, for 4 marks. Okay, so let us start the procedure. Clearly f of x is continuous. Okay, clearly f of x is continuous at x is equal to 5. You might not check why, because he has already told you it is continuous at x is equal to 5. What do you mean by continuous? Remember, don't forget to write this step. That means limit of f of x at x tends to 5. Remember, here a is 5, is nothing but f of 5. This is the basic definition of limit. Now here the function is like, I don't have the function limited for x is equal to 5. If x is equal to 5, the question is not given. So in that cases, I consider this procedure, that is, I take limit of f of x, that is the left hand limit of f of x as x approaches 5 is same as the right hand limit of f of x as x tends to 5. Remember, the left hand limit, I'll take it as 5 minus, this indicates the LHL, that is left hand limit, and this plus value indicates the right hand limit, and this is nothing but f of 5. Okay, don't forget to write this step, because you would be getting 1 mark here itself. Okay, that means, I mean to say, my LHL is equal to RHL. Is it clear? Now therefore LHL means left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. This will give me, now what is my left hand limit? Limit as x tends to 5 from left hand side. Now from left hand side, that means left hand side means also you always take x less than or equal to the element. So for x less than or equal to 5, what is the function? The function is kx plus 1. Okay, for a left hand limit, the function for x is less than or equal to 5, the function becomes kx plus 1, and for x greater than 5, the function will switch off to 3x minus 5. Okay, so this is nothing but limit of as x tends to 5, that is, from right hand limit the function will go to 3x minus 5. Is it clear? So this implies, so what do you mean by limit of a function? Just substitute for x whatever the value we have here. So I'll get k into x becomes 5 plus 1 is nothing but 3 into 5 minus 5. Okay, so this implies k into 5 is nothing but 5k plus 1 is nothing but 3 5s are 15 minus 5. This implies 5k plus 1 will be 15 minus 5, that is nothing but 10. So we are going to get 5k is equal to 10 minus 1. Okay, therefore I'll get 5k is equal to, what is 10 minus 1? It is nothing but 9, isn't it? From this I'll get k is equal to 9 by 5. Is it clear? This is the solution for this question, which will give you 4 marks. Only thing is, write the step clearly and neatly in this order itself, so that you can easily get 4 marks. Is it clear? So write the condition that it is continuous and write the definition of continuous. Okay, and show it is left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, substitute it, and finally find the value of k. Okay, very easy, isn't it? Right, shall we move on to the next question? Okay then. So my second question I have is, find the value of k. This is similar to the previous question. If the function f of x is k into x square for x less than or equal to 2 and 3 for x greater than 2 is continuous at x is equal to 2. You should read the question clearly. He has told you it is continuous at x is equal to 2. You have to find the value of unknown k. Okay, so you can see here this question been asked 2 times in your examination for 4 marks. Okay, now data. What does data say? You can either say clearly, or data is what? F of x is continuous. F of x is continuous at x is equal to 2, isn't it? Because he has told you. I'm not writing nothing extra here. He has told you that it is continuous and I'm taking it as continuous. That means, so what do you mean by continuous? We know limit of f of x as x tends to, what is the a value here? 2, isn't it? This is nothing but f of 2, isn't it? So this is the definition of the continuous part. Okay, so now I don't have the value for x is exactly equal to 2. That means I will consider my LHL should be equal to my RHL, isn't it? My left hand limit should be equal to right hand limit. That is, what is my left hand limit? Limit as x tends to 2 from behind, that is from left hand side, is what is for x less than or equal to 2, what is the function? I have k into x square. Okay, so this is nothing but, okay, now what is the limit from right hand side? So I have limit, okay, of f of x. From right hand side it would be 3. Okay, for x tending to 2 plus, remember. Is it clear? Very simple question. Okay, maybe you can also write this step before, which is understood. What? Limit of f of x as x tends to 2 minus, that is the left hand limit, is equal to limit of f of x as x tends to 2 plus. Is it clear? You write this step better because it will increase the length of the question, because the steps are very less here. Okay, this implies, now substitute the value of 2 here. So it is 2 into, sorry, I have to substitute for x. So in place of x I have put 2, so 2 square into k, I take it as it is. This is nothing but, now here the question, the function is independent of x, so it will remain it as 3. Okay, this implies, what is 2 square? 2 square is nothing but 4 into k is nothing but 3. This implies k is equal to 3 by 4. Such an easy question, you will be getting 4 marks here. Okay, so please be careful. Write each step clearly. So if they give you this question for 4 marks, you can easily get 4 marks and have it in your pocket and also your marks card. Okay, shall we move to the next question? Okay then. So the third question is, there is again a similar question. Find the value of k if the given function is continuous at x is equal to pi. Okay, so this was the question which has been asked recently, that is in the March 2020 examination for 4 marks. Okay, shall we find the solution? Okay, as usual, we write the data first. So what is the data? F of x is continuous at x is equal to pi. Remember, you have to write whatever the value which is continuous at for that problem. Okay, here it was continuous at x is equal to 2, but this question is continuous, this function is continuous at x is equal to pi. Okay, so this implies, what do you mean by this? So that means limit of f of x as x tends to pi is nothing but f of pi. This is the definition. Don't forget to write this step. Okay, that is, what do you mean by this? Again, I don't have the function limited like for x is equal to pi. The question is, the function is not separated here. So my LHL will be equal to RHL. That is, the left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. That means, what do you mean by that? So limit of f of x as x tends to pi minus pi. Pi means from the left hand side is same as limit of f of x as x tends to pi from right hand side is same as f of pi. Okay, and these are just basics which we generally write for every problem. This implies, now what is my limit? Limit as x tends to pi from left hand side is, what is the function? For x less than or equal to, less than or equal to pi, the function becomes kx plus 1. Okay, so this is nothing but limit as x tends to k from right hand side, x tends to pi. Limit as x tending to pi, the right hand side, that is for x greater than pi, the function becomes cos x. Okay, if you are thorough with this one step clearly, then you can easily get 4 mark here. Okay, so consider the left hand limit and right hand limit and choose the function correctly. For the left hand limit function, the function is kx plus 1. For right hand limit function, the function is f of x is cos x. Okay, so now substitute for x here using pi. Okay, so that is, I will have k into pi plus 1 is nothing but cos of pi. Okay, so I have k pi plus 1 is nothing but, now what is cos pi? Cos pi is minus 1. Hope you remember the formula. Cos n pi is minus 1 power n. You should remember these basic results. So cos odd pi's are minus 1 and cos even pi's are plus 1. So because it is odd pi, it becomes minus 1. Okay, so bring this term to right hand side because I want the value of k. So k pi is nothing but minus 1 is here, and when it comes to right hand side, it becomes again a minus 1. So k pi is nothing but minus 1 becomes minus 2. Therefore, k value is nothing but minus 2 by pi. Is it clear? So this is the value of k for the given function which is continuous at x is equal to pi. Is it clear? Very simple, isn't it? You can easily get 4 marks if these questions are given in your main examination. Okay, shall we move on to the next question? Right. My fourth question is, find the relationship between A and B. In the previous 3 questions, there was just one unknown variable, k, but here I have 2 unknown variables, A and B. I have to find the relationship between them so that the given function, okay, is continuous at x is equal to 3. Okay, so March 2018 question for 4 marks. So we shall proceed with the result. So data. What is data? As we generally write, f of x is continuous. Don't skip any steps here because there are very less steps for these kind of problems. F of x is continuous at x is equal to 3. Okay. Therefore, so what do you mean by f of x is continuous? I mean to say that limit of f of x as x tending to 3 is nothing but f of 3. Isn't it? That is, so again, the function is not split up for x is equal to 3, x is less than 3 and x is greater than 3. So in that cases, I will consider my LHL is equal to RHL. What do you mean by left hand limit is equal to right hand limit? That is limit of f of x as x tending to, remember it is 3 here, 3 from left hand side is same as limit of f of x as x tending to x approaches from 3 from right hand side is nothing but f of 3. Okay, so this implies, so limit as x tending to 3 minus, we generally say 3 minus, that is from left hand side is, now what is the function for x less than or equal to 3? It is ax plus 1. Okay, This is nothing but limit as x approaches 3 from right hand side, that is 3 plus. Don't remember, this should be written as a power. It looks like a suffix, prefix, power here. Okay, 3 minus 3 plus. Don't write somewhere in between. Okay. Now here the for x is greater than 3, the function is bx plus 3. This is the first step. You should be very careful. If this step is clear, you will easily get the solution. Okay. Therefore, substitute for x whatever the value. So it is a into x value is 3 here. So 3 plus 1 is nothing but b into put 3 for x, 3 plus 3. Okay. So this implies now what I have, 3a plus 1 is equal to 3b plus 3. Okay, you can bring both the terms, constant terms to left hand side. So I'll get 3a minus 3b is nothing but 3 minus 1, isn't it? So I'm taking 3b to the left hand side and this 1 is brought to the right hand side. This implies what is, you can take 3 common here. So you'll get 3 common, a minus b is nothing but, what is 3 minus 1? It is 2, isn't it? Therefore, you can say a minus b is nothing but 2 by 3. This is the result or relationship between a minus b. You can either write it like this, like you can either say a minus b is equal to 2 by 3, or you can say a is equal to b plus 2 by 3. Okay, so this is the relationship between a and b for the given function which is continuous at x is equal to 3. Is it fine? Very simple, isn't it? You can easily get 4 marks, but make sure you practice these questions clearly. Right? Fine. Moving on to the fifth question. Determine the value of k if the given function is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2, that is 90. So this is the most repeated question in your examination. This has been asked 5 times in 5 different years, main examination for 4 marks. Okay, this is quite a different procedure than the previous problems. Okay, that is why he has asked more number of times. Okay, but still you need not worry. There is always a solution for a problem, isn't it? That is what maths teaches us. Okay, let's proceed. What is data? He has told you f of x is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2, isn't it? He has already told you that it is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2. That is, what do you mean by that? So limit of f of x as x tends to pi by 2 is nothing but f of pi by 2. Okay, now your a value is pi by 2. You can see here this question is quite different from other question because for x equal to pi by 2, the function will shift on to 3. That means he has given, therefore f of, okay, we can see here clearly f of pi by 2 is nothing but what? 3 itself. Okay, f of pi by 2 is 3. This is my equation 1. Again, this is my data because the function is defined that way. For x is equal to pi, the function is equal to 3. Okay, so let me use this. Therefore, limit of what is the for x is not equal to pi, the function becomes this. So let me, for f of x, I'm going to take this. So I'll get k cos x divided by pi minus 2x as x tending to pi by 2 is nothing but f of pi by 2. Is it clear? I'm just using this result here. Is it clear? This is the most important result. Every time we write equation star, I can consider. Okay. Is it clear? This is f of x. So now I've substituted for f of x and f of pi by 2 I've taken. So this implies, okay, limit of x tending to pi by 2, I'm going to get k cos x divided by pi minus 2x is nothing but 3. Remember why it is 3? I've already taken in equation 1, it is equal to 3. Is it clear? Is it fine? Now here, for this particular problem, I'm going to make some small arrangement. Okay, see what I'm going to do. You always do it aside. Put pi minus 2x is equal to theta. I'm considering the denominator as theta. Okay, so then what happens? Therefore, pi minus theta will be 2x, isn't it? If I take pi minus 2x as theta, then if you bring pi to theta to left hand side and 2x to right hand side, I will get pi minus theta is equal to 2x. Therefore, pi by 2 minus theta by 2 is equal to x, isn't it? Or that is, I'm taking pi minus theta by 2 will be equal to x. So if you split up, you are going to get x is equal to pi by 2 minus theta by 2. This is my x. I substitute for theta. I have to get what is x here. Okay. Once this, remember, if you substitute, if you change the variable, my limit will also change. Don't forget this. Okay, now since I changing from x to theta, now remember, as x approaches pi by 2, theta will approach. Remember, if you put x is pi by 2, isn't it, what do you get? 2 times pi by 2 is again pi. So pi minus pi becomes 0. Is it clear? Hope you've understood this. As x approaches pi by 2, as x tends to pi by 2, theta will tend to 0. Okay. So keep this aside. Don't merge up with your original process. Okay. So therefore, limit, remember, now everything is changed. Okay. So x becomes theta. Now as x tends to pi by 2, theta will tend to 0. Okay, now k is a constant. I'll keep it as it is. Okay, into cos, what is x? I'm writing completely in terms of theta. Now x is nothing but it is pi by 2 minus theta by 2, isn't it? Divided by pi minus 2x. I'm taking it as theta. Okay, this is nothing but 3. If you understood this step, then the rest is very easy procedure. So, okay, limit of this extending to pi by 2 becomes theta tends to 0. Denominator is theta. Right hand side there is no change. K cos, in place of x I have taken pi by 2 minus theta by 2. Therefore, limit as theta tending to 0. Okay, so denominator I have theta, here I have k. Now what is cos of 90 minus theta? For some time, consider this as theta. Cos of 90 minus theta is, we know it is sine theta. So cos of 90 minus theta by 2 becomes sine theta by 2. Is it clear? This is nothing but 3. Okay. Now what I'm going to do it is, now since k is a constant, I can keep k is outside because k has nothing to do with my limit. Therefore, remember here, I have k kept outside. Limit sine of theta by 2 divided by, now I have theta here, I'll divide by 2 and multiply by 2. See what happens. Is it clear? Why I'm doing this is because, now let me keep this theta by 2. This is nothing but 3. I want to use the result which we all learnt in first PUC. Limit sine theta by theta as theta tending to 0 is nothing but 1. So I have to use this result. That is why I'm considering this. Okay. So now I'm going to keep this 2 also outside. Therefore, k by 2 into, actually what I have, limit as theta tending to 0. Is it clear? Don't confuse. Sine of theta by 2 divided by theta by 2 is nothing but 3. Okay. Fine. Now, according to this rule, this will be nothing but 1. So it's k by 2 into sine theta by 2 as theta tends to 0. Remember, this also is a very basic thing. As theta tends to 0, theta by 2 will also tend to 0. You can also take the limit here as theta by 2. So this entire thing becomes 1 and this is nothing but 3. So now you cross multiply. Now k by 2 into 1 is nothing but k by 2 itself. So I'll get k by 2 is nothing but 3. Finally, if you cross multiply, I will get k is equal to 3 into 2. That is nothing but 6. Okay, this is the procedure and the solution for the above given function, which will give you 4 marks. Remember, this has been asked most number of times, so there are chances of this question being asked this year also. Okay, practice this clearly so that you can easily solve these problems. Right. Okay, friends, so we have come to the conclusion of this part. Okay, hope you have understood this. Hope you have enjoyed this and learnt it also. Okay, there are few more questions which I want you to do it, so that which I will continue in the next session. Okay, so keep waiting for it. So practice these sums before we see the other sums in the next session. Okay, hope you have enjoyed it and we'll meet again on the same topic in the next session. Until then, take care and bye.